Thank you for coming by my channel to see what my family had for dinner this week. I'm Rachel and I share what's for dinner videos. I'm excited to share with you some good home cooked cold weather dinner ideas. And as always, I like to keep it quick, simple, and easy. For dinner number one, I am seasoning some store-bought stew meat with salt, pepper, and dried onions in a cast iron skillet. Then I drizzled in some of the W sauce. All I'm doing is turning this meat every now and then so that all sides get cooked, and I'm just giving it a head start before it goes into the oven to finish cooking and get all nice and tender. Next, I'm adding bite-sized peeled and washed potatoes to get them softened up a little before adding the rest of the ingredients. Down at the bottom of the screen, you can see our little dog Buddy, who is always at my feet whenever I'm cooking. He's part of the cleanup crew. Oven beef stew is such a crowd pleaser and a tummy filler because we're going to top this off with biscuits before we finish off the cooking in the oven, and it's going to be just so warm and satisfying. Now that the meat and potatoes have had some time to cook, I'm going to start adding the rest of the ingredients. For the base of the stew, I am using brown gravy mix. I'm using 2 cups of gravy total, just following the directions on the jar. Sometimes I'll make a more tomato-based broth when I'm making beef stew, but I didn't want that flavor this time. I just wanted a very hearty and beefy flavored stew, and this was on point. Once the broth is added to the skillet, I started dumping in the canned veggies. Now, the kids in our house don't like mushrooms, but Bill and I do, and every now and then I make the executive decision to do whatever I want. I specifically chose canned peas, carrots, and mushrooms. I wanted the veggies to be super soft. Of course, when I make beef stew, I change up that part depending on my moods. I'll add green beans, onions, or frozen mixed veggies. There are so many options. It all depends on what I'm feeling at the time. Now, after I have everything added to the cast iron skillet, I'm going to pop it into the oven for about an hour and a half, and let it continue to cook so that that meat has that time to really get tender. And here I am taking it out, and I have my biscuit mix in this little mixing bowl already mixed together. This is the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuit mix, and the only thing that I did different is instead of adding the garlic and herb mix to the butter and putting it on after, I mixed the garlic and herb seasoning packet right into the biscuit dough, and I am going to skip the butter topping. And all I'm doing is plopping those drop biscuits right on top of the skillet, and then it's going back into the oven to finish cooking. The directions on the box said to cook or to bake for 40 minutes. So that's what I did, just keeping an eye on those biscuits and making sure that they got browned up and cooked all the way through. I love to use these Cheddar Bay biscuits in place of Bisquick or other drop biscuit recipes. It just gives a little added touch. It has cheese in there and the garlic flavor. It just makes every dish a little more special. And this is my finished bowl of beef stew. This was so comforting. It was nice and hot. The gravy does set up a little thicker than what you're seeing here as it cools down. The biscuit just makes it just so filling and comforting. For dinner number 2, Bill and I just kind of threw together a quick skillet meal. We weren't exactly sure what to make. It was a work day and we didn't meal plan or grocery shop. We usually have smoked sausage in our freezer because it thaws quickly and cooks up fast. So we just got busy and diced up some potatoes, onions, and sausage and made a quick skillet hash with some buttery French style green beans on the side. I just seasoned our potatoes with a little seasoning salt, some garlic, and some pepper, and that was it. And when I dished up my plate, I just added a little bit of shredded cheese to my potatoes and sausage, and it was such a satisfying, quick and easy dinner on a really cold weekday. Now, this is a stick to your ribs kind of meal, which is exactly what you want when the temps are dropping below 0. This is one of our go-tos when we don't know what to make for dinner. Number 3 is a cheater meal. Just heat up a can of Campbell's Chicky Noodle Soup and add a bunch of saltine crackers. Just like when you were a kid outside playing in the snow and you come in to warm up with a bowl of hot soup. Only for me, it wasn't so much playing, but more like working. The soup still hit the spot. Can you tell I like a lot of crackers in my soup? Dinner number 4 was a new recipe for us. I've seen it floating around for a while, trying to figure out what to make for dinner using the leftover head of cabbage from New Year's and the steam and serve bags of fried rice that Bill picked up a couple weeks ago. I knew it had to be a bowl since I had some ground beef in the fridge and a couple stalks of celery and onions. A plan started to come together. I had the ingredients on hand to make Korean beef. And what you're seeing here is a family effort in making the sauce for this Korean beef. Cameron and Bill are putting together the sauce using a 1/3 measuring cup of soy sauce, and then they're adding about 3 tablespoons of brown sugar and just mixing that all together. And then Bill continued to add a tablespoon of ginger and a tablespoon of garlic and put that together. I guess Cameron lost interest at this point, and so I just continued to film him making the sauce so that I didn't lose that footage, and you guys can all see how it came together. We added a tablespoon of crushed red pepper. You can add more, you can add less. This is just what we felt tasted good. And I used that cabbage and cut it up really thinly and put it in some oil in a skillet along with some thinly sliced up onions, and just got that sauteed and nice and soft. I added a little pinch of salt just to enhance that flavor. We cooked our ground beef and our onions together in a skillet and then drained it. And then next we are just going to pour our sauce mix into the ground beef. We did add a half a cup of water to the sauce mixture. And so we're just going to let that simmer for a while until that brown sugar starts to caramelize and thicken up the sauce. And yeah, you see both of our hands in the pot. We were just having a bonding moment, I guess. I don't know. We had a really good time cooking together. I really love to spend time with others in the kitchen, and I think that cooking together is just a really great bonding experience. I plopped in some really finely diced up celery into the ground beef. It didn't call for that in the recipe, but I thought it would be more flavor and more texture, and so I like celery cooked but not raw, so I just added that. So while that's cooking and my cabbage is finishing off its cooking process, I have my skillet in the back to make some fried eggs. I removed the cabbage from the skillet, and then I just added some thawed diced sweet potatoes, and I seasoned them up with some pepper, a little bit of salt, and then here is the fried rice that we're using today. All you have to do is microwave it in the bag. And this was pretty good tasting. I wasn't sure if I would like it or not, but it was just fine. This was just something that Bill picked up on a whim one day, and so basically I planned this whole meal around this rice mix. And then I'm adding a little bit of chili powder to my sweet potatoes. I really love savory sweet potatoes. I know a lot of people like brown sugar and butter, but I like a little bit of a savory flavor. I have my eggs already fried up, and I'm just going to start assembling by putting some rice in the bottom of the bowl. Very steamy. It just came out of the microwave, and then I'm adding my meat and my cabbage and my other veggies, and I'm just going to top it off with a fried egg on top. And this was so delicious. I think we all just instantly fell in love with this and decided that it has to go on our regular rotation. It was so easy. The taste was amazing, and it was just visually pleasing. It just hit all of the flavor points, and we will make this again. I'm so glad we gave this one a try. For dinner number 5, I really had to just kind of come up with something. I had no ideas. I was getting out of work and did not know what to make for dinner. I really wanted to go through the drive-thru or order pizza or something, but I'm really trying hard to just cook at home, save money, and the food that we get out just doesn't taste as good as what we make at home. So here I'm just chopping up some lettuce, and I'm also slicing up an avocado, and those were the only ingredients that I needed to prep ahead of time. We're just going to have some taco salad. I had my taco meat on the stove cooking with just some store-bought packets of taco seasoning, and so we just layered the lettuce and the meat and our toppings in a bowl with some chips and called it good. And these are the kind of meals that my kids love anyway. I mean, you cannot go wrong with a taco in a bowl, right? And here is my bowl. I'm pretty sure that we all look like we had different meals because we all like different stuff on our taco salads. And anyway, I'll just let you see how I made mine. And the rest is to be imagined, I guess, because the kids are, you know, teenagers, boys, and they eat way different than how I would. Let's just say there was lots of ranch dressing involved. Now, how's that for a quick no-brainer dinner that you know your kids will eat? For our sixth dinner of the week, I am making a spiral ham. This ham cost $22. Bill went grocery shopping for the week, and I had put ham on the grocery list, and so he texted me and let me know he was splurging and buying a spiral ham, which was fine with me because the price comparison was pretty close for all the other hams that were in the store, and I know that we like these and we will get a few meals out of this, so I don't mind that it was $22. I think he did a good job, and we love spiral ham. And now I'll have a ham bone and leftover ham that I can make breakfast with, or maybe even a couple more dinners, and you know, definitely can make some soup and whatnot with it. So all I'm doing is getting it out of the package right now, and I think I've mentioned before, not sure if anybody notices, but I don't have a roasting pan at the time. We had a fatal incident a while back with our roasting pan, and so now I don't have one, and so I'm using this big pot that is oven safe up to, I believe, 280 degrees. And since I have basically all day to cook this ham, and it is already cooked, you're just warming it up, then I just figured I would put it in this pan and cover it with some foil. I'm gonna just get it opened up and then put it cut side down, and then just put some potatoes around it. And I'm not doing anything special to this ham. I am not gonna put the glaze on it while it's cooking because I'm not sure what I want to do with these potatoes at this point. I believe that all I'm going to do is smash them and add butter and salt and pepper, but I didn't want them to be sweet and have like a glaze on it or pineapple or anything like that. We're just going for a savory baked ham and potatoes. I'll be using the ham glaze seasoning that comes with the ham in a saucepan, and I'm going to just add some of the hot pepper jelly that I got from the Amish store to that, and then we'll just have that on the side to drizzle over our ham. And I'm going to make some homemade macaroni and cheese. Bill brought home some Velveeta, and we weren't really quite sure what we were going to do, but I decided that I will make some mac and cheese to go with it. And all I'm doing at this point is just putting some foil on top because the lid doesn't fit once the ham is in it, and that's just fine. And this is just going to go in the oven for about 4 hours, I would say. I love making ham for dinner because it is so easy to make, and there are always delicious leftovers. And here is our finished ham dinner and the delicious side dishes, and that is the last dinner of our week. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you got some dinner inspiration. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like this one, please subscribe to my channel and hit the red bell notification so you can catch my latest videos. See you next time.